Hi guys, Shen here. Yeah, I just wanted to share my experience that I had in the float tank up at Redcliffe. So David's float tanks. I can't remember what it's called. I'll try and find the card and oh, there it is. I'll just grab it. Yeah, the float in space. It's really good. I enjoyed it. This is the first time that I've had a float tank. I kind of was quite interesting. Just before I go into it, but when I first went in there, inside the actual tank itself, and shut the door, and then Dave puts another cloth over the top to make it darker, um, I got really scared. Like, let me out. No, I can't stay in here. I can't do this. All these thoughts rushed through my head, which was quite bizarre, and I felt that as well. I felt scared, I guess, the emotion or something of fear. And I'm like, no, it's all right. Like, I've got the button here. I can press it. But that was quite interesting. I found that interesting. That was immediate, basically immediate. And then after that, yeah, it went from there. So I'll rewind back a little bit. So yeah, I got there, and we had a shower, and Dave explained everything, about it. Like, sit down. He explained what's in the float tank was all this salt. He said he likes to get it very accurate, and it's cool because you just float there in this water. The water wasn't really warm. I guess it was probably, maybe it was 28 degrees. I'm not too sure. I didn't ask him that, but I didn't get cold at all. I thought maybe I'd get cold as well, but there you go. More thoughts. Um, I asked Dave, like, how long, what's a recommended time to be in a float tank, and he said 2 hours, 3 hours, but time's irrelevant. You just go in there, and I guess when you feel like it, you sort of come out. Um, yeah, so I figured I might be in there for an hour, maybe two, because I had to push onwards. But yeah, I ended up being in there for 2 hours exactly, and it was good. I felt ready to get out. I'd kind of been back in my body, I suppose, for maybe 20 minutes, maybe even half an hour. So just moving around, all this kind of stuff. So I was ready to come out. That was good, and I felt like a baby in there. I didn't feel rebirthed or anything like that. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying, but when I was inside the water itself, I guess that's kind of what it feels like to be in a womb as a baby. But obviously, a baby has more water. With this, you're floating, kind of like the Dead Sea, I guess. You're floating because you're so buoyant because of the salinity level, and you just float. And it's really cool. I think one of the main things that I got out of the, what's it called? Out of the floating space up at Redcliffe was my skeletal alignment. Because there's no gravity or anything, there's no unevenness. Water will just balance out wherever you put it. It fills in the rest of the container, and it leaves a straight line. So you imagine laying down, and you're basically so buoyant, and the water really only came to about here, so it didn't go past there, and my chest was exposed, my stomach, my genitals, the tops of my legs, and the tops of my feet. That they were all above water. So you just kind of lay back there. But damn, it was really fascinating. I had a lot of pain in the back of my neck. I've injured it, I think, a few times when I was younger, possibly nearly even broke it. But yeah, there was a lot of pain. When I got in and leaned back and just quietened everything down, when I noticed that pain there, I really probably spent the most of my time, my conscious time anyway, because I think I blacked out there for a bit. But when I was conscious, I kind of just focused on that neck area. And it was interesting. It really went right back, but there was pain there. I do kind of bend my neck down a lot because I'm, on a device doing business and whatnot. But yeah, when I got out, I felt, after I'd showered and everything, once I got out, I felt a really significant, like, posture alignment. I guess that's what you call it. Even my spiritual body, I guess, was kind of still there. And I think my physical body went back. But I think I'd like to continue just for that quality alone. That's probably the best thing I've ever come across. Absolutely. And I mean, at the same time, your body is absorbing all of the minerals from the salt, which is fantastic because there's a lot of magnesium and other minerals and trace elements that our body needs. So that's just a good thing for muscle, cellular repair, tissue repair, on a really kind of micro level. Another thing I wanted to say, I'll just keep this short because there was really only two things. But yeah, the other thing was floating in the water and moving about was so much fun. I felt like a crocodile. You know how a crocodile swims, or a lizard, it swims through the water? That's what I felt like. I just, you could, it was different. It was like a two-dimensional moving in three-dimensional space, time. But yeah, that was great fun, and I shook my head a lot. I did a lot of rotating. I did a lot of physical body work. This body's pretty good, but there's definitely some injuries. I'm coming up to 40. That's not old, but over the next 10 years, up to 50, 60, we'll see what happens. I would like to preserve my body and still be able to use it as best I can for as long as I can. 80, 90, 100 years old, maybe even longer. There. So I would have loved to have put a snorkel on and done it the other way around and just swam that way. That would have been amazing. Yeah, just that movement. Think of a crocodile swimming through. More like that, a crocodile or a lizard, not a fish. A crocodile or a lizard. That movement. It was super cool. I enjoyed that, and I think my body really enjoyed it as well. So yeah, they were just my thoughts. I know I said before I did kind of black out for a bit, and I had this weird something must have happened in my brain. Words did come after it, but I can't. I'd have to sit and reflect on it a bit longer. But yeah, some kind of pop back there. Back across that area. Whoa. Yeah. Across here. But yeah, all in all, it was great. I would love to do it again. I don't. Yeah, I was in there for like two hours, but I think you can probably go in there for up to 4 hours, maybe. Yeah, get onto him, give him a call, check the card out that I put in the start. I'll leave some details below as well, but yeah, it was unreal. I really enjoyed it, and I definitely recommend trying it out for anyone. Maybe not people with vertigo or something, or, you know, people who fear spaces or tight spaces. I think you'd be alright, but Dave would probably have to assist you, perhaps. That's an assumption. I shouldn't assume, but that's just a suggestion that you could ask him. Yeah, cool. Okay, folks, give it a go. I like trying all these different therapies and practices. Um, there is one that I've been putting off for a while now. It's the ice bath one. I have done a couple of, swum in some pretty cold places, like over in Canada, a glacier-fed lake. That was pretty cold. I couldn't tell you how cold, but yeah, it was pretty good. So even up in North Queensland, there was some pretty damn cold water up there. I don't know if it was because it was so hot outside and the water there was cold, but it was coming up from deep under the mountains, so it was probably just cold water anyway. Yeah, and a few other things like that. Righto, folks, have a good one. I hope you enjoyed that.